Alright, so it looks like I'm streaming. Not entirely sure, as this is my first live stream. So I'm trying to figure out how to use OBS with YouTube. So I guess let me just make sure. Let me see if I can figure out if I'm live or not, because I don't really see. Okay, yeah, look. Great, looks like I'm live. Streaming? Perfect, I see the live stream there. Not entirely sure, cool. As this is my first Alright, well, so I'm trying. Let me close out of that there. Alright, so what's up, fellas? Edward, aka DeadlyCrypto. Today I'm doing my first live stream, so really I just wanted to test out some features before I get into my story. I want to check like a scene transition, see how all these guys do this. So got a green screen behind me. This is how I'm going to be doing TA, so I want to do some live trading with you guys. I want to share some analysis. I've shared TA in the past, but that was before I was allowed to live stream on my channel. So now that I have the capability to live stream, you have to meet some certain criteria with YouTube, and I didn't have it met. So now that I have all my criteria met, I can do live stream. So this is my first live stream. Thanks to anyone who's here, probably nobody. If you're watching this recording, thanks for watching this recording. It means a lot to me. So yeah, whenever I plan on sharing TA, I'm gonna be doing it like this. I'm just gonna test some scene transitions real quick. So yeah, looks like I got a couple intro. I got some stuff set up here, and basically just want to see how it looks. So seems pretty easy. I'm not gonna mess with sound effects or anything like that today. Alright, cool. So I'm actually not going to do too much TA talk. I don't want to waste your time here. So I'm just testing some stuff out. Now I am going to be sharing about me. You're not going to get anything informational out of this video. If you're here for the TA, you can just leave. Don't want to waste your time. I'm going to be talking to you about my crypto journey. So first things first, how I got into crypto. Well, the first time I actually had exposure to cryptocurrency was in high school, and I didn't really take it seriously. So this was probably around 2014, 2015, whenever I first heard about Bitcoin. And my friends were using it to buy stuff off the internet. And it didn't really seem like a currency that everyone was going to be picking up on at the time. Me, I didn't know much about money. I didn't know much about currency. I was always interested in stocks, things like that. But I didn't really have a good understanding about crypto. I don't think most of us did. And then I graduated high school in 2015. So after I graduated high school, I was just, floating around. I didn't have funds to go to college, so college was pretty much out of the question for me. I got a job whenever I got out of high school and just started working the job. My first job whenever I was in high school was at McDonald's. And I think back to it now, I think I was making like $700 every 2 weeks at McDonald's. And this was in, 2013, 2014, whenever I started working at McDonald's. I'm not sure. Still have my pay stub, my first pay stub. But, yeah, it was it was 2013, 2014. I was 16 years old when I got my first job at McDonald's. Man, I should have just been buying Bitcoin from there. If I would have just used all my checks from McDonald's, I could have literally came up off McDonald's on Bitcoin. But that didn't happen. So before I became a full-time trader, I was just, job hopping around. Whenever I was in high school, I was actually smart enough. They offered a welding program, so I got certified as a welder in high school for free. I didn't have to pay to go to a trade school after high school. So that was always like my fallout plan in the back of my head. Like, oh, welders make good money. I can just do manual labor and, weld and be all right for the rest of my life. And so I tried, to work a couple different jobs. I ended up finding a job building aluminum boat trailers for welding and building aluminum boat trailers. So I did that for maybe 2.5 years, 3 years, I don't know. All this time I was highly interested in investing and trying to become a better investor. I wasn't really interested in trading so much yet when I was a welder. But I was interested in trying to become an investor and invest in the stock market or whatever, so that I could try to have some kind of retirement fund or whatever like that, like a plan. I wanted to be like a grown-up and plan. So I was studying the markets, trying to research, and around this time I decided, whatever reason, it was a good idea to go hard on Coca-Cola. So after talking with a couple people and
I had a few consultations with a financial advisor from Wells Fargo in my town. And he told me a couple things about stocks, and I had to pay him for this knowledge too. So he told me just a little bit to get me going. Of course, he wanted me to become one of his clients, and he wanted to manage my funds. And it wasn't a scam type deal. He's like working with the bank and stuff, so it was all legit. But anyway, he told me that Coca-Cola was a pretty good, and you're probably gonna hear me say this later, storage and transfer of value over space and time. And I looked at it. From what I could tell, it always showed an uptrend as long as it had been a stock. So, I mean, there were pullbacks, especially in 2008. But Coca-Cola is something that arguably will always be around. People are going to drink Coca-Cola. So, I started accumulating Coca-Cola shares. Decided to quit my welding job to get a job closer to me and started working as a service advisor at a dealership where they sold ATVs and motorcycles, off-road vehicles, motorcycles, things like that. So whenever I started working there is when I really started to realize that I didn't want to work for the rest of my life, and then like working sucked. I always knew that, but I didn't want to work at all. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try and get more serious about trading. And so I was looking at, of course, still into stocks, not paying too much attention to Bitcoin at this time. And I'm looking into just getting different stocks, and I made a couple plays off of like this one called Plug Power. It was a pretty nice play off of that. And around the COVID crash, okay, maybe I'm skipping too far ahead. I don't want to rush the story, but don't want to miss anything either. So I started to learn a little bit more about crypto. I was actually working 2 jobs. So I was at the dealership by day, and then at nighttime I had like a job as a bouncer for different nightclubs in the area. And I was at this one bar, and this one guy who was there, he was talking about Bitcoin. And he was talking, it was a bar conversation, granted, and the guy was literally consuming alcohol while he was there, but he had a lot of interesting things to say about Bitcoin. And he was talking to people, and I was nosy, so I walked over there and listened to what he had to say. Because people, you know how it goes if you're into crypto and you're into Bitcoin, you're trying to talk to somebody about Bitcoin. They're not interested. They act like they don't care at all. It's like, oh yeah, crypto, that magic money. The people he were talking to were not interested in what he had to say. So I was like, man, I'm going to listen, what this guy has to say. So he started telling me about all this stuff, how he only works 2 hours a day. He's like, yeah, I trade from 7 to 9. I try to trade from 7 to 9 only, get done what I can, and then after that, I work on my other projects and ventures. And I'm like, oh, that's cool, man. And at the time, he showed me his, he probably would not show me his account now. I still talk to the guy, by the way. But he probably would not show me his account now. But at the time, he showed me, he had like a little over 8 Bitcoins. And at the time, it was worth $64,000. I think this was like late 2017. So somewhere around that epic run-up, BTC was about like 8K per Bitcoin. And he had 8 coins, it was worth 64K. And I was like, whoa. Because the last time I had looked at the price of Bitcoin, because I was not paying attention to it, right? Last time I had looked at Bitcoin, it was like $4,000. And I was like, okay, so that was like one of the clicking moments for me. I was like, okay, so I remember Bitcoin was at 4K. Now it's at 8K. Like, so you telling me whatever I put into Bitcoin, I could have doubled my money. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay. So that was like one switch for me. And he went on to say, he's like, okay, so take a look at everybody in this room. And I was looking at everyone in the bar, laughing, cutting up, people shooting pool, having drinks, chilling. And he's like, all these people in here, if you ask any of them what Bitcoin is, they probably don't even know. It's like, but 10 to 15 years from now, they're probably going to be using it. They're probably all going to be using it. And I was like, maybe I need to go learn some more about Bitcoin. So still, even at this point, I wasn't aware of it. All the things that I know now, had no clue at all what I was getting into. Just that I wanted to make more money out of Bitcoin. And I think that's what a lot of people show up to Bitcoin for, or to crypto, because they think they're going to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. That's why I came. I thought it was going to change my life. And it has, but not in the way that I first thought. So anyway, fast forward now a little bit. It's the COVID crash. I'm working at the dealership, and I still have I have a lot of Coca-Cola shares, and the market starts crashing, right? So I have a lot of different investments, and I'm seeing how Bitcoin crashed to $3,000, and then immediately starts to pick back up. Everyone I knew, because I was harping on Bitcoin at this time. I'm like, bro, Bitcoin's this and that, Bitcoin's that. And everyone was like, oh man, you see Bitcoin is down. And they talked that crap for like maybe a week. Bitcoin went down 50% in one day. That was the craziest day of my life. I saw that. And for a few days after that, people were talking to me like, oh man, you see Bitcoin? See Bitcoin? Kind of almost like mocking me. I'm like, yeah, I see Bitcoin. And I saw it also start to recover very quickly from 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 to 6,000. And I'm like, whoa, I just missed my opportunity again to double my money. I was like, okay. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and convert every last one of my stock holdings into Bitcoin. And I have been saving for years. I think I skipped that part. I had been saving for years. I didn't just come up with a bunch of money. You don't just show up. You don't just decide you're going to get into crypto and get rich. I hadn't even made the decision to get into crypto. I just made the decision years before that I wanted to start investing for my future so that I could have a secure future or some type of something for me anyway. So I had been saving for years, and I had amassed like around decent holdings of Coca-Cola shares. And so I converted everything from mostly Coca-Cola holdings into BTC and what other various investments I had. I remember I was in some like Galactic Virgin or something like that. And I had mentioned Plug Power as well. I pulled out of everything, just went straight all Bitcoin, all BTC, 100% BTC at that time because I didn't really know much about altcoins. So I was like, all right, let's go. BTC, let's hunker down. And then so it started to go up really quickly. Price started to rise up really quickly. And I was like, okay. I had been trying to trade amateurly, and I understood how swings would go from high to low and the opportunities that they create. Although I couldn't capitalize on them, I knew that they existed. So it's like the entire principle someone brought out to me about like just investing and just holding. Yes, that's a very good strategy. Especially if you're talking about Bitcoin. Just accumulating, just buying, and just holding is great. Usually outperforms most traders. But there's definitely opportunity. I'm not going to go too far away from my live stream here, but I'm just going to open this up real quick and show you. If we just take a look at a weekly range on BTC. So I'm not going to get too far into anything that I'm showing you here. So yes, if we look, the COVID crash was somewhere around here, right? There we go. So if we look, Bitcoin went up. If you started in March 2020, you're up 1,000%. If you're going to right now, market price, which is like right here, 39K, you're still up 500%. That's a lot. That's 5x your investment over 2 years. That's decades worth of traditional investing right there. And you just accomplished that in a very short amount of time. Very, very short amount of time. So, yeah, holding's a good strategy, but you can make sense of these other moments like this right here. So you see this large downtrend. So the people who were up 1,000% from here, now they're riding this down and they're losing out on some of their profits. But if you take an entry right here and you short down or you sell your position, take your profits and then rebuy, even looking at something like this, you can see a break of a market structure. I'm not going to talk about technical analysis in this video. But you can see from here, even the current market price, there's an opportunity for gains to be made. And this has taken such a long time, 119 days of just holding. Traders can do so much in that time. And I wasn't, of course, fully aware of it just yet. Let me try and get this back to a reasonable view so we can spectate now. Putting it back on the 3 minute, I think we got. Yeah. I got 3 minute and 1 minute time frames behind me. So yeah, I was able to see the movements between these prices, and I'm like, you know what? There is definitely a lot of opportunity. I'm not going to be able to catch every single opportunity, but I want to start focusing more on those opportunities. And I had found out about a trading service called 3 Commas a little bit earlier. I'm not going to try and show you the service. You don't need it. You can trade on any exchange as long as you have an exchange account. You can trade on an exchange. I found out about 3 Commas and I fell in love with it. Gives you the ability to make bots. So one thought that I had early on, and that I had realized from other people who were very wealthy, much more wealthier than me by reading and watching their videos, that I'm not going to get rich and wealthy or accumulate the wealth that I want by working an hourly job. I need to figure out how to make money in my sleep. And that's what ultimately led me to trading, because I'm like, I'm sleeping for 8 hours. There's going to be an opportunity within those 8 hours. I'll try and predict the market, what it might do. If I'm right, I'll wake up with some extra money. And if I'm wrong, well, I'm wrong, and that's going to suck, but I'm going to try and take it as a learning experience. So I wanted to make money while I slept. I looked for different algorithmic trading opportunities, and I eventually found 3 commas. What I ended up finding actually was 3C.exchange. It doesn't even exist anymore. If you type that in, I don't know what you're going to get on your web URL, but it was free, and it was they had it part of like the Binance Trader program is what it was called at the time. 3 commas doesn't have this anymore, but anyway, I got into that, and I saw the opportunity with the bots that they had, and it was just unbelievable, the things that were happening. So I was trying to capitalize on that momentum, and initially I was gaining a bunch of profits from the COVID crash recovery, right? A lot of people said that was really bad on them, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. I remember I worked at the dealership. Sales were trash. Sales started going really bad because, the economy or the market was in shambles. But Bitcoin was performing very, very well. I remember sitting at the desk with my friends, and I was looking at co-founder of DeadlyCrypto. Wasn't co-founded yet, but we were sitting there talking about Bitcoin, and it was playing like 9,800 resistance. And I'm like, bro, we're probably looking at the last time Bitcoin's ever going to be under 10K. And he's like, you think so? And I'm like, I don't know. And we seen this meme of this dude. He was like on the baseball team. He's like, you can see he's saying the F word. He's like, but it doesn't finish. And it's funny. It's so funny to think back that, because like I really had that thought, and Bitcoin hasn't gone below 10K since. So, but anyway, I'm moving in now to like 2020, or later into that year, into after the COVID crash. So it was now around October, and Bitcoin has been doing good, just broke 10K, starting to go parabolic. It's like at 15K or whatever. So I've said this before in some previous places. There was an implication with my job where I had worked there for a long time, and they had never asked for any drug tests. And they decided to ask for a drug test. And I'm like, damn, I can't pass that. So in my head, I had planned to actually quit that job in February. I wanted a few more months to save up and get my savings right. I had this awesome plan. I was going to keep using 3 commas bots. I was going to keep trading. And then in February, hopefully, by my projections, I was going to have enough money to saved up to quit. And then I was going to quit, give my boss a 2 weeks notice, and go my own way and start to try and trade more often. But in October, I was forced with a decision. The boss even told me, hey, you know what? If you can't take this right now, just go do what you got to do and then come back when you can take it. And I was like, I'm not really I don't want to do that for this company, like it didn't make sense to me at the time. I really was scared. I was really, really scared to not be employed and to give up that comfortability of receiving income, receiving wages. But at the same time, in that moment, I knew that I'd always known, I'd always felt it. So I'm living my life for someone else. I'm building for this man's company. I'm putting these hours in, and he's receiving the major profits, and I'm just getting this and this. And so I'm like, you know what? I gotta go my own way now. So this is it. This is my push come to shove. And it was very difficult. It was very difficult. Those first few weeks and months, not having a real job and being my own trader was difficult. I thought that it was going to be fun. Of course, what was most difficult was for me that I was scared. Most of the time I was trading at that point, I had so much pressure to stay alive, because now I'm only dependent upon my savings, and I had a nice little chunk of savings. But I mean, realistically, come on. I've seen seminars by Grant Cardone where he talks about making millions of dollars and like actual comfortable living. Like, it's not like money can buy you happiness. No, I'm not going to say that. But what if I get hurt? What if I have medical expenses? What if I get into an accident and I get sued? What if someone sues me? What if I need to help pay for... So many things go wrong. And there were things that have gone wrong in my life. Like, golly, between relationships, losing my father, everything that has led up to the person that I am today is I don't know where I was going with that, but there's definitely hardships whenever it comes to this. It's not just going to be easy. And whenever I first quit my job, it was really difficult. I didn't have any sense of time. I had always, been dependent upon someone telling me what to build or what machines to service or whatever, So whenever I first got out of the rat race, I was like not really having a good wake-up schedule or sleep schedule. I was kind of just waking up and sleeping whenever. And the pressure that I was having in my trades, because I was like feeling like, if I don't come up with this money, that's where I was going with that train of thought. If I don't come up with this money, then, I'm going to get evicted. I'm not going to be able to have a home. I'm not going to be able to live. I got to make this money or else I'm going to have to go back and get a real job. And I didn't want to do that. That was like defeat for me. If I had to go back and get another job somewhere, I would have lost it. I would have absolutely lost it. So I stuck it out. It got tough. Thanksgiving came around. I actually saw the biggest liquidation of my life, trying to be a leveraged trader. I actually had some bots tied up in leveraged positions and ended up losing a lot of money on Thanksgiving. Didn't look at the charts for like 6 days after that. So it was tough. It was tough. And now I'm in December and I hadn't looked at the chart for a few days because I lost all that money and I was just so worried. I'm like, I got to get back to the game. And from there, things really started to pick up for me. I gave myself a schedule, a set time I got to wake up and do things. So now I definitely have random objectives throughout my day, like between meeting, going, making these videos, creating blogs, all that stuff that I do today. But in the very beginning, I designated a certain amount of time in my day, as soon as I wake up, to get to the charts and get after it. That was the first thing I had to do. And ultimately, I figured out how to check, how to really review market structure, and more so than not, how to manage my emotions and control risk. I realized that I was trading for so long without a proper risk to reward structure and placing my trades just wherever the hell they looked convenient. I would look at the market so many times, just open my chart and be like, all right, I'm going in right here. Just because I was looking at the chart, and that probably was not the best time to go in. A lot of the times it was not the best time to go in. But for whatever reason, I'd open the chart, feel like I had to take a moment, opportunity right there, or make a trade right there. And if I wasn't doing something. But later on, I realized that I needed to do things in a strategic way with planning, development, and more coherent thinking than what I was actually putting into this. So I could see number go up, number go down, but I needed to measure how number go up and number go down. So whenever I started to test different strategies and learn from all the stuff, I had been trying to practice different strategies that I was learning from YouTube for a long time, so long time. And I ultimately had to go through like hours and hours and hours and hours of, I don't know how many hours of videos I had to go through to get stuff that actually worked. Just filtering out stupid nonsense, because at the time whenever I was trying to learn, there really weren't as many crypto YouTubers or trader, people who were trying to advocate the way of trading. So I even used some forex strategies and like stock strategies that can translate into chart price action. It's just price action. So a lot of those strategies can be carried over. The difference is volatility whenever it comes to trading. So I started to hone in on my strategies and hone in on the time that I wanted to trade. So setting up the schedule for myself was the biggest deciding factor that actually started to fuel me to success. Now, in the background, I was accidentally accumulating money because, as we know, during this time, Bitcoin was just fucking rallying. And now I'm going to have to mark this video as PG-13 or whatever. I've been trying not to use cuss words, even though that's the kind of person I really am. I'm just trying to be expressive here. So, Bitcoin was doing really good. And it's not like I was still trying to trade. And I had understood the difference between trying to capture Bitcoin and accumulate Bitcoin and trading USD to make more profits. So all the time while I was practicing my trading, even though I was experiencing liquidation, I still had my spot reserves. I wasn't a complete clown. I was holding some spot bags and accumulating more BTC while I could with the money that I was earning from trading my USDT bag. So periodically I would buy more Bitcoin with it. And then Bitcoin went up, new all-time high, day after day, week after week, new all-time high. So I'm like, okay, great. Carried me straight into the new year. And I was doing great. I was very fortunate. Timing, everything lined up for me. So I became a better trader. And I started to help my friends. You know, they saw that I was jobless. I went to Colorado, took an awesome vacation, went and bought a whole bunch of legal weed in Colorado. Super great. And everyone was like, oh, Dill. Like the friends that I had in school, they're like, yo, Dill. That's my first name. Middle name's Edward. So people who are really close to me, some of them, you know, call me Dill. And he's like, yo, Dill, what are you doing, bro? What's this money grab you're on? And I'm like, man, dude, I told you I'm trading crypto. So I showed one friend, and then he kind of went a little ways with it. No one's really gone that far with it, but they all started to do things and little by little improve their life. Because again, at that time, Bitcoin was rallying to incredible and soaring to new all-time highs almost day in and day out. So it was easy for my friends to get involved. It was easy. Let me get some water here, guys. I don't know how long I've been talking already. Yeah, so it was easy for me to get my friends involved, but the common theme that I was finding is I'd talk to Tom for, 3 days, 4 days, help him get set up with all the basics, and then I'd go talk to Jerry, and these are just hypothetical names, I'm not using my real friends' names. I'd go talk to Jerry, and I'd have to explain all the same shit that I just got finished telling Tom. And then I'm like, okay, now Tom knows, now Jerry knows. It's like, all right, well, what's his name, Phil's coming over here and asking me about this shit, so now I gotta explain the same thing that I just explained to Tom and Jerry to Phil. It's like, okay, well, maybe I should just start explaining to more people at the same time. It's like, well, okay, well, no, he's got this job, he's got that job. All my friends want to learn, but they gotta learn on their own time. So it's like, okay, let me come up with a little guide. And that's where all this started. That's where it all started for me. Intentionally, I was gonna build up my trading balance and become, master pro trader and live the life of trading. That's still what I'm doing. I still trade day in and day out. But that thought of creating the guide for my friends is what ultimately led up to DeadlyCrypto and the educational channel, the Instagram, all that stuff. So I made this little Google document, and I sent it to my friend. I was like, bro, look, read it. Shows you how to get set up. Because at the time, I was actually using Binance with a VPN here in the States. So now I can't use Binance, even with the VPN. I think you might be able to get away with it in certain cases, but I like to use API keys with 3 commas, like I said. And you can't do that without an unverified exchange on Binance. So anyway, at the time I wrote it, showed them how to get set up with a VPN to mask our location, how to get onto Binance, how to get set up with 3 commas, how to get started. And then showed basic trend line analysis. I didn't have any videos or anything made yet. It was just me typing, showing pictures from stuff like my trades and stuff like that. So that's where it all started. I made that guide. I still have that guide. I'm actually working on getting that put into a website where it'll be completely viewable for free. As time moved forward, I started to make, videos to accompany these things. I started to really grow the Instagram and the Twitter. My Instagram's done much better than my Twitter. I hate Twitter so much because of the text cap. Like, I can't share any cohesive thoughts on Twitter because they limit you to how many characters you put. When I'm trying to talk about TA, it makes me upset. There's so many people on Twitter who have, I'm not mad at them for being popular, but people retweet the stupidest shit. Like, I don't even want to begin to go into that, but they're just like simple one-liners that really have no insight about crypto or educational content at all, and that's fine. I know people aren't coming to Twitter to try and learn. But dumb shit gets circulated around. So that's why I wanted to try and, grow these social accounts so that someone could have some insightful stuff on their feed every now and again. And my Twitter is just doing terrible because I don't use as much as I should. Instagram's doing okay. YouTube is catching up. So that's, obviously we're here on YouTube. You're watching this now on YouTube. If you made it this far, I have no idea how many people are watching. I'm still trying to figure that out. So yeah, let me see if I can check that real quick. Maybe I can just go to my studio or something. I don't know. If I go to my channel, I might be able to see. Okay, there it is.
YouTube is catching up.
3 watching. So what's up to my 3 watchers? Maybe I'm 1? I don't know. I don't know how this works. Thanks for watching this if you're watching this live. And still thank you for watching this if you're watching the recording. So anyway, getting past creating the guide. Yes, I mentioned that I will be creating a website soon. That guide is going to be absolutely free, so anyone that has any questions or looking to get into crypto, we'll take you from the ground up on how to become a really consistently profitable trader. And that whenever I do launch that website, I'll post it, of course. But that's pretty much how DeadlyCrypto was born. I was on Reddit. I would always look for this page called Jobs for Bitcoin. It's literally jobs, the number 4 Bitcoin. It's a page on Reddit. People go, freelance workers go, and they post things like, hey, I need this work done, willing to pay this in crypto. So people go there to find internet odd jobs. Maybe someone needs an article written, something like that. Maybe someone was looking to learn more about crypto. I landed a couple consultation sessions from Reddit to teach people about crypto, just share the information that I had shared, and ended up stumbling upon Crypto University. So if you know Crypto University, if you've seen any of my videos before, you'll know that I'm a partner with Crypto University, and I partnered with them early last year. I've been with them for over a year now. That's literally how I met Crypto University, in Jobs for Bitcoin on Reddit, and talked to Gray. At the time, of course, I still don't think I'm the best trader in the world. At the time, whenever I talked to the Master Gray BTC, Big Papa Chef, he could see from the conversation that we had that I was no fool, and that I was trading, and he was looking for a technical analyst to engage with this community. And I was like, yeah, dude, you know what? I want to be involved in this project. I want to be in a crypto community full of traders. That sounds like a really good place to be, especially to partner with them and have the opportunity to make more money in the future. So it sounded like a really good idea, and that's how my partnership grew at Crypto University. Of course, whenever you meet anyone in the crypto world, you have to be skeptical, man. Whenever I met Gray, I was skeptical of him. Whenever he met me, he was skeptical of me. He lives in South Africa. I live in the United States, so it's pretty hard to conduct business from that far away without trust. But it's kind of what crypto is. It removes the need for trust, so it allows us to interact with each other in a decentralized manner. And now I know Crypto University has a really decentralized infrastructure now. Whenever I first started with Crypto University, I remember most of the team was based in South Africa, somewhere like around Cape Town. But now there's people in all kinds of different time zones working on the CU team. It's really grown into something great, and it's going to continue to grow into something even better. I'm not trying to show you CU. I'm not trying to show you anything that I've mentioned here. I'm just talking about my journey, how I got to where I am, and basically where I am now. So right now, where I am, I'm still living off my trades. I'm still trying to make the most out of being a day trader. I'm still accumulating for the long term, so I have a very strict portfolio building strategy. So I have a long-term acquisition, of course. Now, I don't even think I've mentioned a cold wallet. I figured out about the cold wallet, and that is where the long-term holdings are. So now I've got really fine-tuned strategies for myself that I like to use. Again, I have my methodology for portfolio building down, and whenever I first came to CU, I still had a lot to learn, but I definitely knew what I was talking about and knew how to make money trading. So, with the help of Gray, with the help of Crypto U and the community, just putting all my time into this for over a year now, making more tutorials. The more tutorials I make and the more I try to learn so that I can teach, I really think that by teaching it helps me learn more and understand more. So I definitely enjoy teaching any chance I get. I'm still always trying to learn every single day. You can't ever think that you know enough or that you know it all, because that's usually how you end up getting wrecked really quickly. If you start acting like a know-it-all, start feeling like you know it all. Like even today, I still lose on trades. I take trades that I know damn well I shouldn't be taking. But sometimes my emotions get the best of me, and I end up losing on trades. Sometimes different things get a hold of me, whether it be an emotion or a technical setup I've used before that I think I could be profitable in. So today, as it stands, I'm still working forward, and actually now in real life too, I've joined an investment group here in Austin where I live. I'm out of Austin, Texas, USA. So there's an investment group here that I've taken part of now, and I'm trying to learn more about real estate even and venture into that avenue. So my main goal and main focus here is just to accumulate as much crypto as I can, and I'm really going to wait for a few more cycles before I start trying to spend obnoxiously. So the very reason I got into crypto is because I wanted to have a future. So a lot of times my friends ask, they know the people who know me in real life know I'm doing much better than I was whenever I ever worked for someone else. And I live free. I don't, I don't have to report. I don't have to drive anywhere. All my bills are paid. I can afford to do small, simple, luxurious things, I don't have a Lambo. I don't have a mansion. Not yet. I strongly believe those things are coming if I just follow the plan of investment. And it's not going to happen overnight. This journey has been so long for me, but I've witnessed firsthand what crypto can do. I was someone who had no chance at ever going to college financially. If I wanted to go to college, I would have had to have taken like a student loan or something, and that's not something I wanted to do. It's not something I want to do. I didn't want to be indebted to my life as soon as it started. I felt like I was just getting out of school, and I was really truly starting my life. So I was willing to wager against those odds, and thank goodness crypto changed my life the way it has. So I don't fear, and now I don't worry about the future. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know how I'm gonna get there. I know. I can't see exactly. I can't see what's going to happen tomorrow, but I know if I just keep following these steps, I'm going to continue to have success and get to where I want to be. So that's a little bit about me. I can go into a bunch of different other videos, smaller and more focused on different things. Like I definitely have a lot of videos about 3 commas, a lot of videos about trading. Pretty much everything that I talked about in that little guide I made, it's all here on YouTube. I have different technical analysis playlists and things of that nature. So I'm focused on the grind now, and I'm going to be coming up as hopefully you guys will be coming up with me. I know I've seen some subscribers here on my channel that, man, I just absolutely know some of these guys. Thank you, who have been here since I've had like less than 300 subs. And I don't see everyone all the time, but I can definitely see comments and things like that, who's there. And we're still at less than 2K subscribers, so the channel is still young. I think there's so much potential for the future for all of us. I'm always going to be trying to sharing what I'm getting into, always going to keep trying to update you with more tutorials. So I noticed there's definitely been a little bit of a shift in the content that I've created, and I'm going to maintain tutorials within my future update strategy. So even now, like I said, I'm always learning, creating a content creation strategy. So I'm going to try and keep tutorials mixed in with new and emerging crypto factors. Like for example, mostly up until this point, my channel's been centered around cryptocurrency trading. So I'm not going to get out of the crypto niche. I'm just going to expand and try and cover a little bit of more things like, NFTs. I've barely started to get into producing content around NFTs, and same for like scratching the surface of mining and staking. I don't think I've gotten any publications out yet about staking on my YouTube. So definitely there's going to be tutorials, more tutorials about trading, more TA, more live broadcasts now. So I have the opportunity to go live. I'm going to review how this went afterwards, see what tweaks I can make in the future. And yeah, I want to be able to go live and actually, try and set up some trades with you guys so you can see what I'm taking. We can trade together. Maybe you guys can leave comments or whatever in the chat and share your ideas or what you think about the trades I'm taking. All kinds of stuff, man. I got so much stuff I want to do with the channel. So I just really think that YouTube is a great way for me to document my progress as well. So I've often said, probably not heard me on the YouTube channel, but for people that talk to me like in Crypto U and stuff, I often say that it's important to document your trades. So what I see in my head doing with the live trading, of course, you guys can trade with me. It's cool. We all get to engage. But I get to go back and look at it and see what my thoughts were. I want to look at myself trading and see my faces, expressions, things like that, and kind of just see how I react. Usually, my trading diary has screenshots and things like that, and I'll write down what I'm feeling in my trading diary to try and minimize losses and look back and see what feelings, all that good stuff. But I think it's going to be interesting for me personally to review my live trading sessions and see how I reacted under pressure, under the pressure of the market for one, and then under the pressure of my audience, you guys, for two. So I'm not going to take up too much more of your time today. Basically, that's a little bit about me, where I've come, a little bit of a roadmap on where I intend to go in the future. So, of course, I don't ever plan on disappearing. I really, the community that I've got involved with inspires me to be better. And I think that's a problem I had in the beginning, is that it was hard to find people with like minds, because I always wanted to achieve more. And it's not like money. Of course, money can't buy happiness, but money can definitely provide you the things that you need in life. And I always wanted to achieve more. So whenever I was trying to get my friends that I had grown up with on this journey, they're still my friends. I still love them. And hopefully, whenever I start making millions and millions, I'll be able to spend more time with them and bring them, or have the opportunity to fool around with them and hang out. Man, fuck, I've been grinding so hard, like day in and day out. I grind so hard. It's all for the greater objective, but yeah, it's really hard to try and bring. That's a little bit of a tangent there. It's a little hard to bring your friends with you where you want to go. So I really appreciate the community that I've become a part of, and the community that I'm building here. And you guys, really, I don't know what I would do without you guys. I do have, friends, like I said. I do have a life, girlfriend, things to worry about. But the community has really shaped my trading experience a lot. And I'm really grateful to you guys for that. So thank you guys thank you for following me. Thank you for subscribing to me. Thank you for taking this much time out of your day to watch me. Thanks for everything that you do for me. And I'll continue to do my best to try and give back to you guys. So thanks for watching this live stream. I hope you learned a little bit about me. I hope you have some insight on where we're going in the future. And I'll be posting very soon, so be looking out for the next update, guys. I'm going to be looking a little stupid here as I try to figure out how to close this live stream. Because again, if you see the title, it's my first live stream. Probably going to hear some back echo now.
Continue to do my best to try.
Yeah, there it is. So I'm going to cut it off, and I'll see you guys later. I figured out how to cut it off. A little bit about me.